Welcome, friend. I'm James, your host, and today we're diving into another captivating episode. Grab a drink, get comfortable, and get ready for a powerful story that's sure to resonate. If something hits home, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive in.
Aita for freaking out on my boyfriend after I found him messaging a porn star. Grab some popcorn, read it, because this story is about to take you on a wild ride. So, I, 26F, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, 30M, for about a year now. At first, everything was blissful, a whirlwind romance filled with laughter, late-night drives, and deep conversations under the stars. We'd share secrets over candlelit dinners and take spontaneous weekend trips, feeling like we were the only two people in the world. He was the type of guy who could charm anyone. He had this magnetic personality that drew people in, making him the life of every party. Friends would flock to him, and I found myself captivated by his carefree attitude. But somewhere along the way, that charm turned into something else. Something I couldn't quite put my finger on. As the months went by, I began to notice the cracks in our relationship, little fissures that seemed to widen with each passing day. Lately, our relationship has felt more like a soap opera than a love story. The passion we once shared has turned into constant bickering over trivial matters, and the easy laughter has been replaced with cold silences that hang heavily in the air. I felt as though I was living in a pressure cooker, the steam building up until it threatened to explode. We'd have arguments that seemed to arise out of nowhere, over who forgot to take the trash out or why he didn't text me back right away. Each fight left me feeling more distant, like we were both trying to navigate a maze with no exit in sight. I could sense that our connection was deteriorating, replaced by a heavy tension that weighed on my heart. I would lie awake at night, replaying our arguments in my head, wondering where we went wrong. Each disagreement felt like a dagger, piercing through the fragile bond we had built. The warmth that once enveloped us felt like a distant memory, replaced by a coldness that seeped into every interaction, making me question whether we could ever go back to what we once had. One day, after yet another pointless argument over who left the dishes in the sink again, seriously, how many times can we go over this? I found myself spiraling into a pit of insecurity and doubt. I could feel my heart racing as feelings of jealousy and unease washed over me, leaving me restless and agitated. It was a tumultuous mix of emotions, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. My mind raced with what-ifs, making it hard to focus on anything else. I felt this gnawing urge to figure out what was really going on behind the facade of our so-called perfect relationship. Was I being paranoid, or was there more to the story? Did he find someone else more interesting than me? In a moment of reckless curiosity, I decided to go through his phone. Cue the dramatic music. What I found made my heart race and my stomach drop. There it was, plain as day, messages to a freaking porn star on Instagram. He was sliding into her DMs like it was just another day in his happy-go-lucky life, casually asking, "Hey, did you change your hair color?" as if they were old friends catching up over coffee. My heart sank, and I felt a rush of adrenaline mixed with disbelief. The betrayal felt like a punch to the gut, knocking the wind out of me and leaving me gasping for air. How could he be so thoughtless? It was almost comical how effortlessly he flirted with someone who represented everything I feared about our relationship. My mind flooded with a million questions. Did he think I wouldn't find out? Did he really see her as just a friend? Or was this his way of testing the waters outside our troubled connection? I felt a wave of nausea wash over me as I processed this information, my pulse quickening. But wait, the plot thickens. I scrolled further down and found another set of messages to a girl from our friend group, a girl I absolutely despise. I've always felt something off about her, like she was lurking in the shadows, waiting for her moment to pounce. She was the type of person who would smile to your face but twist the knife when you weren't looking. And there it was, one of his texts reading, "Love me some." A line he often uses with me when he's feeling neglected or craving my attention. The weight of that phrase crashed down on me. My mind spiraled, and a whirlwind of thoughts consumed me. Why was he using that line with her? What kind of game was he playing? I couldn't shake the feeling that he was toying with my heart, and the sting of betrayal was unbearable. Each revelation felt like a blow to my self-esteem, making me wonder if I was not enough for him, if I was just a placeholder until something better came along. Fueled by a cocktail of anger and heartbreak, I completely lost it. I mean, we're talking about a full-on meltdown here. I screamed at him, my voice cracking as tears streamed down my face, feeling a mix of rage and utter disbelief. The world around me felt surreal, like I was trapped in a nightmare I couldn't escape. The weight of my emotions was overwhelming. It felt like my heart was going to explode from the pressure. I felt like I was in an episode of a reality TV show, the kind where you can't look away, even though it's painful. I hurled his phone across the room. Thankfully, it landed safely on the couch. My emotions were a tempest, and I had no control over them. The confrontation became a storm, each accusation adding fuel to the fire. I felt empowered, yet completely helpless at the same time, my heart racing as I demanded answers, determined to uncover the truth behind his betrayal. I couldn't help but wonder how he could be so careless with my feelings, so reckless with our relationship. When he finally calmed down, he tried to explain. The porn star? She's just someone I met at a party. I was bored and just trying to make small talk. I swear, he pleaded, desperation etched across his face. His voice trembled slightly, and I could see the panic in his eyes, which only fueled my anger further. My heart raced as he continued. And the other girl? I don't even remember why I texted her. I would never cheat on you. His voice was frantic, filled with the kind of regret that felt half-hearted, as if he were reciting a script instead of expressing genuine remorse. I watched him, searching for any signs of truth in his eyes, but all I could see was a mix of fear and annoyance, as if he were frustrated that I had the audacity to question him. I couldn't shake the doubt that crept in like a shadow, gnawing at my trust. The sincerity in his voice didn't match the chaos in my heart. I wanted to believe him, but how could I after what I had seen? But my mind was racing. How could he think this was acceptable? I could feel the walls closing in on me as he insisted he was just being too friendly. But how could he not see how dangerous that friendliness could be? I felt my heart harden with every excuse he offered, the disappointment mingling with anger. He kept trying to downplay the situation, acting as if I was overreacting, but every word he said only added to the storm brewing inside me. And then, to add salt to the wound, he revealed that the girl was hanging out with another guy at our mutual friend's house. My gut twisted even more, a mix of betrayal and humiliation coursing through me. The thought of him being so casual with someone else while I was sitting here, heartbroken, was almost too much to bear. In a moment of sheer frustration and curiosity, I decided to reach out to the girl I disliked. I sent her a message, my fingers trembling as I typed, asking if he had said anything disrespectful about me behind my back. She replied with a casual, "No," but I couldn't shake the feeling that she was lying through her teeth. The conversation felt like a trap, and I was stuck in a web of uncertainty. I could almost hear her smirking through the screen, relishing the chance to insert herself into my life. Was this all just a game to him? Was he testing the waters to see how far he could go? My heart ached with the fear that I was losing him, and I felt utterly powerless to stop it. I wanted to scream, to shake him awake, to make him understand how deeply he was hurting me. Instead, I was left with this gnawing feeling in my gut, an unshakable dread that our relationship was crumbling around us. Now I'm left here, sitting in this emotional whirlwind, questioning everything I thought I knew about him and our relationship. Why would he engage in small talk with another girl, especially one who's a porn star? Did he think I wouldn't notice? Was he so wrapped up in his own needs that he couldn't see the pain he was causing me? Is it because he thinks he can get away with it since our relationship is hanging by a thread? I keep replaying the conversations in my head, dissecting every word and every laugh we shared. Part of me wonders if he's just seeking attention because he feels our connection slipping away. Maybe he's just trying to fill the void with someone who seems exciting and different. Each day that passes feels like a countdown to something inevitable, and I can't shake the feeling that our relationship is teetering on the brink of collapse. The more I think about it, the more I realize that I deserve better than this emotional roller coaster. I've always prided myself on being strong and independent, but this situation has left me feeling fragile, as if my heart is made of glass, ready to shatter at any moment. As the days go by, I try to put on a brave face, to act like everything is normal when, inside, I'm a swirling mass of confusion and hurt. I find myself scrolling through social media, catching glimpses of couples who seem so effortlessly in love, and it only deepens my despair. I begin to question every aspect of our relationship, the moments we shared, the plans we made, even the future I thought we had together. Could I really trust him again? Was he simply using me as a safety net while he explored other options? Each time I look at him, I'm reminded of the betrayal, and the intimacy we once had feels like a distant memory, replaced by an awkward silence filled with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. In the evenings, when we're both home, the atmosphere is thick with tension. We sit together in the living room, but the laughter and lighthearted banter we used to share have evaporated. Instead, it's like we're both actors in a play where we've forgotten our lines, each of us waiting for the other to break the silence. I want to bring it up, to confront him about how his actions have made me feel, but the fear of another explosive argument holds me back. What if he dismisses my feelings again? What if he says I'm overreacting? I can't bear the thought of him belittling my pain, so I keep quiet, hoping that somehow it will resolve itself. But inside, the turmoil grows. Then there's the social aspect of it all. Friends and family can sense the tension, and I find myself making excuses when they ask how things are going. "Oh, we're just busy," I say, forcing a smile, but inside I'm screaming for someone to see through the facade. The thought of having to explain this entire mess to anyone is daunting. I can't bear the idea of them judging him, or worse, judging me for staying in a relationship where I feel disrespected. I start to isolate myself, spending more time alone, scrolling through my phone late into the night, trying to distract myself from the heartbreak that looms over me like a dark cloud. One night, after yet another awkward dinner filled with forced conversation, I finally reach my breaking point. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, tears streaming down my face as I replay everything in my mind, the messages, the lies, the broken trust. I grab my phone, and in a moment of desperation, I type out a message to him, laying bare everything I've been feeling. "I need to know if you really care about us, or if I'm just someone to keep you company until something better comes along." I hit send, my heart pounding in my chest, unsure of what to expect. Will he finally understand how much his actions have hurt me? Or will he brush it off, adding more pain to an already fragile situation? When he finally responds, his message is vague and lacking the urgency I need. "I care about you, babe. Let's talk about it later." The nonchalant tone cuts deeper than any of his previous messages. It feels dismissive, and I realize I'm holding on to hope that he may never be able to fulfill. I feel more lost than ever. How can I fight for a relationship that seems so fragile, where I'm left doubting his commitment and feelings? The uncertainty gnaws at me, and I know I have to make a decision soon. Days turn into weeks, and the emotional distance only widens. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, hoping he'll step up and prove that he values our relationship. But instead, I find him slipping further away, lost in his world of friends and distractions. The nights we used to spend together watching movies and cuddling turn into solitary evenings where I lay awake, feeling like I'm losing him bit by bit. I start to wonder if our relationship can survive this breach of trust. Do I really want to be with someone who so easily compromises our bond for the sake of fleeting attention? Then, during one particularly tense evening, I decide it's time for a serious conversation. I gather my courage, determined to express everything I've been holding back. We sit down on the couch, and I can feel my heart racing as I search for the right words. "We need to talk about us," I say, my voice trembling slightly. His expression shifts from casual indifference to a more serious demeanor. I can see the wheels turning in his head, and for the first time in weeks, I feel a flicker of hope. "I know I've messed up, and I want to fix it," he says, his tone earnest. But as we delve deeper into the conversation, it becomes clear that he still doesn't fully grasp the extent of the damage he's caused. He makes promises, assures me he'll be more mindful of my feelings, but I can't shake the nagging doubt in my mind. As the conversation unfolds, I realize that while I want to believe him, the scars of betrayal are too fresh. It's hard to envision a future with him when trust has been shattered. I'm left wondering if I can truly forgive him, or if the wounds will always linger, serving as a reminder of the pain he caused. The emotional weight feels suffocating, and I know I have to consider what's best for my heart. As I lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, I know I have a choice to make. Do I stay and fight for what we once had, risking further heartbreak? Or do I let go, reclaim my independence, and seek out a future where I can love freely without fear? The path ahead is unclear, but deep down, I know that I owe it to myself to choose happiness, whatever that may look like. Caught my boyfriend messaging a porn star and a girl I dislike on Instagram. Confronted him, and now I'm left questioning everything. Should I walk away, or is there still a chance to salvage this relationship?